We're still in the back office. All
oh,
right.
good. Okay,
Now
looks like
we're
you're live
live.
now. Here you go.
Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure to have two powerhouses here and our featured guest tonight, Bill Walsh. Bill, it's a pleasure and an honor to have you. For the people who don't know Bill Walsh yet, Bill is the founder and CEO of Power Team International, phenomenal brand. He's also a venture capitalist, international speaker, a business coach to so many small entrepreneurs, and also the success behind so many multi-million-dollar brands. So Bill, it's such an honor to have you here, and I'm so stoked to be talking to you with you today.
Well, I'm glad to be here and add any value that I can to your listeners and your audience and some of the folks that follow you guys, because I know you guys are doing great work. So I'm honored to be a part of your broadcast today.
That's amazing. And over here we have our resident, our home resident, Angeline Waymeyer, investor, author, international speaker. Angeline, it's such a privilege to see you both in action today, because I know that you're phenomenal friends as well. And you do business together, so I know you know each other so well. So actually, this time it's going to be a little bit different. I would love to pass the floor to you and for me to just to be an observer of this incredible interview. So Angelina, I'm going to pass it on to you.
Wow, thank you so much, Rob, for this amazing opportunity. And thank you so much, Bill. You know how much I appreciate you. I'm actually a student of yours. I've been to all of your program, Rainmaker, Platinum Speaker Camp. And because of you, you turned my dream into reality from a person who don't know where to start as a speaking, right? And now we speak on the tour together. What amazing.
You're all over the country and soon to be all over the world.
Thank you. That's why I realized that how important it is to have somebody like Bill, can coach us and guide us. So Bill, would you please give us a little bit background about yourself, your business background?
So, I was born and raised in Chicago. I would love to tell you that I was born into like some trust family that, we had billions of dollars, but that was not the case. I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Both of my parents had, regular jobs. My dad was an electrician. My mom worked for Allstate for most of her life. Amazing parents, incredible brothers and sisters. And at a young age, I began to race BMX bikes, and I got to travel the country, and I got to spend time with parents that had quality time with their kids. And that was really the secret. If I would tell you the secret today is quality time with quality people. But it was also the fact that, that all the money in the world nowhere compares to the quality time you can spend with your kids. And people will tell you this, but they always tell you when it's too late. And I was fortunate to be able to, out of high school and college, became a trader, did turnarounds, fixed businesses for almost 10 more years. And I have three of the most amazing kids, Austin, Marissa, and Evan. And I got to be around, like I said, those entrepreneurs that said, you got to be behind the register, not in front of it. You've got to figure out ways to get behind the register. And sure enough, right away, began to invest in different businesses and real estate and all kinds of other ideas, and love the idea of fixing businesses, though. And I did it for big companies. And so around 2000, took a couple of years off because sometimes you got to check out to check back in. And I think I was just burnt out. So anybody's listening, ever been burnt out, I know where you're at. I was there. And I decided to create a product to help all small business. And I teamed up as a marketing partner for a young company called GoDaddy, another big company called Franklin Covey as a channel partner. And 18 years later, we still market domains through GoDaddy. We still are channel partners with a young company called Franklin Covey. And if you heard of Stephen Covey, wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yeah. And from there, we put that into a little box. We were short the marketing, found some great marketing partners. And if there's another little gold nugget I'll give you guys today is that invest everything you have in great relationships. You get a chance to work with Angeline, you get a chance to work with Rob. You take that, you invest the time, take them to lunch, buy them dinner, whatever it is. Because quality time with quality people will always bring you to your biggest goals.
Listen to Bill, guys. Listen to Bill.
And this
Take us out
works.
for lunch.
and I can tell you that, through my career, I've been able to have lunch and meet and do stages events and dinners with whether President Clinton or President Trump or, Tony Robbins or Mark Victor Hansen or Brian Tracy or Les Brown, John Gray. These were all guys that I looked up to, but also became at a peer level by doing the same events and getting on those stages and just got way outside the comfort zone. '05, we launched the Rainmaker, which is our incubator course. '07, the Venture Fund. '08, our masterminds. '09, the first inspiration conferences. 2010, we launched our first platinum speaker program for those who want to speak and sell from stage. 2011, our big internet marketing camps. 2012, we became the main sponsor for all these expos across the country. Went from 2 cities to 17 cities, over 100,000 people a year came out for those events. We launched book writing courses, internet courses, residual mastery courses. And now we opened up centers in multiple cities to help small businesses, small business incubation centers under the International Success Center brand. And now we're going to go virtual with a lot of this stuff. So we still really do a lot of investing in startups, but also do a lot of coaching and training in the area of small business growth, public speaker training, and masterminds. And I'm more excited about business today than I've ever been. I really do think that we're on a very, very incredible timeline that if you'll just be willing to do these 3 things, please write these down. If you're willing to adapt, innovate, and overcome. Adapt, innovate, and overcome. Now we're launching success clubs. We're launching a lot of membership sites because I think membership sites are the future. I just talked to one of my clients last week that took all of her data from the last year of some of the names she collected. She sent out 6 emails to those individuals. She wound up having like 80 some different people opt in for her program. 44 showed up for the whole course. She filled her entire program from 1 conference call. So, you understand that she never left home. She never left her living room, but she got paid. And this is what you've got to begin to think about is that in the business that if you're looking to grow a business, it's always you got to have qualified leads. Just write this down, qualified leads. You got to learn how to give a quality presentation, and you've got to ask for the sale. You got to be willing to ask for the order. So it comes down to how many did you talk to, how many did you present to, how many did you help get started. And there's not much more in business than those 3 things every day if you're involved with any type of sales at all. And then the real secret is acquire the customers and retain them. Acquire and retain, and just be really good at that. And then once again, stick around and stay around good leaders. The reason most people fail in business because they quit. But if you're working with Angelina, you're working with Rob, you're with a world-class team, which means that you've got to wake up early, go to bed late. It's always it's the iceberg effect, right? All people do is they see the 10% of your success, all the shining stuff, right? But they don't see the 90% below the water that made the 10% possible. Beautiful. So hopefully that gives you a good little quick overview, and I'm glad to give you some other whatever you guys have. Just shoot your questions.
Yeah.
Wow, Bill! Every time that I know you open your mouth, it's gold shooting out. So
because I live this stuff. That's all.
Yeah,
tremendous amount of energy. I have to say, I just get all fired up just listening from the energy that comes out of you.
Yeah. And I really believe in the quality relationship. I just want to say how
it's everything.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, Angeline texts me all the time, and I'm really bad by phone, but I'm great by text. But what she does do is she follows through. She implements and she follows through, and she's consistent. Yeah. Successful people are always consistent.
And thank you so much. And the membership site, you are right on, right? I came to the course, you said, Angeline, you gotta have a membership site. And you helped me launch my own membership site. I really
and what happens over years, it just becomes an asset that has massive value because a few people know a few people who know a few people. And when you get them in there and give them great content for free, they tell everybody. Yeah. And then, of course, then they have more interest in what you're doing. So get them into your community. If there's one thing you guys want to write down today, you look at all the unicorns in the last 10 years, they all did one thing very well. They built something called an active community. Active community. And that's where the magic's at, everybody. I don't care if it's Twitter. I don't care if it's Airbnb. I don't care if it's Facebook. They all have Southwest Airlines, active community. They've all built active communities. So ask yourself today, how big is your community? How big is your organization? I'm not talking about your internal team of organization. How big is your external organization where you're getting them all kinds of good content on a weekly basis?
Wow,
yeah, beautiful. So I'm hearing all these golden nuggets, right? First, you have to adapt, change, and innovate. But how? And then I heard asking for the sale, which is among our audience, which is a lot of solopreneurs, people thinking about starting a business or in business, but not being able to break through yet. I think all these principles right there, it applies right off the bat, because how do you create an active community and then serve them with value? And I think that's, you just mentioned that.
Well, that's what you guys are doing right here, right? You're giving away good content, my content, that then helps your community, which in turn, they're going to come back to you for more information. Yeah. But, you know, it's once again, it's that if you create the most value, you'll also generate the most sales, as long as you got some good marketing and people can ask for the order. See, 95% of the population buys something because somebody asked them to. Mm. Yeah. So if you're waiting for sales to happen, you know, you're in fantasy land.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
Right. So create something that's so good that solves their problem. You know, I know you guys work on financial freedom and helping people get their plans together and these things, but at the end of the day, what you're really investing in belief for the individual is that you can bring them some even more peace of mind, right? Mm. Even more, you know, faith and hope that as they get older, that they've got money put aside. Yes. And that really is, once again, the gift that you guys have, because you already have proven plans and systems and processes that can get them there. It's not like it's new, because it's worked over and over for so many other people. So when you can come from that place, it's amazing how fast you can create more value.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And Bill, I still remember I went through Rainmaker program a couple of times, right?
Well, we have it again coming up in just like 2 weeks in Vegas. So in case you want to fly up and do a little training up here, you should come up and talk about your financial service, some of our Rainmakers.
That's
beautiful. And the nice thing about Rainmaker is that it always evolves. It's always evolving. There's always new stuff, right? And if you can stay on the cutting edge with your marketing, you beat your competition, because while they're sleeping, you're acquiring customers.
Yep. And I still remember the first day that you talk about, it's a vision, right? You talk about what is your vision for yourself, for your business. So I want to ask you about, what is your vision for your Power Team International? What direction you want to
Our vision is really simple. It's been the same since we started to become the world's leader in success education. Okay. Become the world's leader in success education. And are we there yet? No. We're probably in the top 50, that's for sure. You know, maybe the top 10 when it comes to the seminar world, for sure. Maybe even the top 5 in that space. But in terms of the world's leader, there's still people like Harvard and other companies. But we really want to reach out to small business America. Okay. I believe they're underserved. I believe they are way underserved. I believe the government does a job where they could use a lot of help to make it better for small business. People don't realize, but 9 out of 10, you know, new employees come out of small business. 7 out of 10 all employees come out of small business, right? Small business is the heartbeat of this country. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we've got to make sure that engine, right, that entrepreneurial vision engine, doesn't slow down. And our mission, because you always want to have a vision. So the vision's always where you're going. The mission's simple: serve 10 million clients by 2025. Serve 10 million clients by 2025. So you make your mission a clear path to an outcome, right? Kennedy said, you know, by the end of the decade, we'll put a man on the moon. He wasn't there to see it, but that was his vision, right? And the mission was 500,000 man hours to put a man on the moon. Wow. But he had a clear vision. So when you're in your business, start with a clear vision. The mission backs it up by the number of customers you serve. The goals, they act as mile markers. So the goals are nothing more a way to keep you in the channel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so, oh my God, I didn't make this goal. That's okay, right? Goals are adjustable, but the vision and mission are not.
Yeah.
The vision's where you're going. The mission's how you get there. The goals are the mile markers. The why is the fuel. Well, I'm having a bad day. I'm not really sure about this. I don't know if I'm going to make it, right? Well, then why did you start in the first place? If you're having a bad day, sit down and write down, why did you join the business in the first place? See, I wish that any kind of home-based business or solo entrepreneur program was $500 to join and 50 grand to quit.
I love that. Yeah.
Because nobody would quit. You know what I mean? If you're going to quit, it's going to cost you 50 grand. All of a sudden, you'll make that phone call. You'll drive across town for that meeting, right? And if you look at the top producers, many of the top producers, 8 out of 10 of our billionaires today are self-made. So in your business, you have to be self-made. Don't be waiting for someone to do something for you. Well, I'm going to wait for my upline. I'm going to wait for my team member to do all the work. No. If you want results, you've got to do the work. You got to be the one that makes the phone calls, does the follow-up, sits them through the plan, or puts them on a phone call with someone that does the plan for them, right? Because, you know, if you don't show up, you don't deserve to get paid. And if you continue to let time decay set in, the excitement's gone. Yeah. So vision, mission, path, and purpose is really important, but also the fuel, the why. Why are you in that business? What truly inspires you about your life, right? For me, it's always been my kids and the ripple effect of my work and watching people like Angeline knock it out of the park, right? Well, I don't know if I can do this. See, my gift is to be able to see the vision in others that can't see in themselves.
Yeah.
And then pull it out of them, even when they don't like it, even when it's uncomfortable.
Yes.
See, all the growth comes in the zone of being uncomfortable, not comfortable.
And Angeline, I think for our audiences and the team who might be watching this right now, I think we might as well implement that, right? $1,000 to join, but 50 grand to quit.
You know, I think it's Malabai had a great question. Malabai Monasterio. Hi, Malabai. I think if I'm saying your name right. You know, her question is about, you know, what happens when you're having lows, but your team expects to high, right? You know, even as a leader, you're going to have ups and downs, right? It's what happens. So I always recommend 2 accountability teams. One team you elevate and one team elevates you. You know, I've paid tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be a part of masterminds, right? We run masterminds. It's $5,000 or $10,000 a year to come to our mastermind and work with me twice a year to make sure you stay elevated. Because what's going to happen, speed of the leader, speed of the team. But, you know, also sometimes the leader needs the team and sometimes the team needs the leader, you know, and so don't be afraid to have down days or they're not perfect days. You know, that always happens. But here's a good way to think this through is that the good news always goes down. The bad news always goes up. So if you're having a bad day, take it to your team leaders above you. So, you know, you don't have any team leaders, then it's lonely. You know, if you want to go really fast, go by yourself. You want to go really far, you go with a great team. Yeah. You surround yourself with a team. You show up for that team. It's the only way that you elevate, right? I force myself to spend time with billionaires every quarter. Why? Because they ask better questions. When they ask better questions, they challenge you to play better. And I love being challenged. If you're a leader and don't like being challenged, then you're nothing more than the big fish in the really small pond. Yeah. Because I don't care how good you think you're doing, there's always someone doing better. The other thing I recommend is that habits. Malabai, habits will make a difference for you. When this whole thing started, that, you know, I went from traveling 200 days a year. I went from speaking 200 plus times a year at events around the world, right? To all of a sudden, no more travel. So now it's like, well, but my habits are let's go speak somewhere, have a couple of days of fun in some city, right? And then go to the next city and, you know, do some more fun stuff and plan that month after month. Well, you know, when all this changed, well, all of a sudden now what happens to your schedule and your habits? So what I had to really do is I had to rebuild my habit cycle. So please write this down. You've got to have a really clear habit cycle that says, I'm going to do this, this, and this, right? And things I've had to test and change and modify over the last 90 days. So I'm now planning, I do workouts now in the afternoon. I'll work all morning, take an hour break, get fresh air, get out of here, go work, you know, go walk, and then do a little workout for less than an hour. Come back and restart again. It's almost like a restart for the day. But it's always the big rocks first. So in life and in business, Malabai, this will help you a lot. If you'll get the big rocks out of the way first in the morning, right, all of a sudden the heavy lifting's done. And now all of a sudden you've got that clear time. And I recommend good audios. I recommend turn off the news. Put on your news cycles onto Yahoo or put on Yahoo News or Google Updates or something like that. That if something happens with the market, you know, you'll get a little wake up. But other than that, if you don't have good, powerful habits, if you don't have the ability to go into these things, it's gonna eat you alive. Because it's so easy to fall in the cycle. Well, I'm going to watch this one TV show. Well, one TV show becomes 5 TV shows, and before you know it, 3 hours are gone. So it's really important to get in those what I call $1 million habits, MDH, $1 million habits. And you always schedule the stuff. This comes from our Rainmaker training. You schedule the night before. You begin to write down the most important things that have to be accomplished by the next day. And the funny thing is that when you get small wins, you feel better. When your team gets small wins, you feel better. Yeah. There's nothing better than having our team, our sales teams or our leaders getting big checks. Because if they're getting big checks, then you're getting big checks. Yeah. So hopefully that answered your question, Malabai.
Yep.
I think and more. This was so much value. It's and what amazes me, Bill, that it comes down like these are the strategies, right? You talked about goal setting. You talked about planning your calendar, focus on the productivity. But it also comes back to mindset, right? It's how you think about something that will also determine the level of action that you take.
Yep.
Yeah, and what happens a lot of times with your mindset, you know, just ask yourself this question. If you ate McDonald's in the morning, McDonald's at noon, McDonald's at 4, McDonald's at 9, and McDonald's 11 before you went to bed, how do you think you'd feel after a month?
Yeah.
Got sick.
Probably not so good, right?
You turn into a yellow clown.
Here, whatever you feed grows. Whatever you feed, you become. So begin to realize that mindset is really a big part of the process. Is that how do you perceive yourself, and what are you doing when nobody's watching? See, the people with the greatest mindset are the ones that work on their mindset. It's just not perfect all the time. I have good days and bad days, everybody. You know, the bad days is like, it just doesn't last very long. I don't allow it to fester, right? You got challenges, face the challenges. You got great things on, good. Listen, when you're having massive success, say nothing. Even if in difficult times you're making tons of money, just say nothing, just roll with it. Because what you're going to find is your actions will always speak louder than your words. Skip the fancy sports car. Buy the sports cars when you have so much cash in your bank that it doesn't matter. Does that make sense? That a sports car is nothing but a rounding error in your checkbook.
Yeah.
But in the meantime of that, right, invest in marketing people, invest in helpers, invest in, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I bought a limo for the company and I pretty much stopped driving because I realized I could buy a used limo for 20, 30 grand. I could hire a part-time driver for 20 or 30 grand. I never paid for parking. My productivity went through the roof. If I was going to the city, I could work in the back of the limo for an hour, hour and a half each way, high-speed Wi-Fi, computer screens in there, right? Why would I want to drive? Then I get to park for free, and I want to pick up friends. I can even pick up friends. I never get tickets, no tickets for texting, no parking tickets, right? So every day you've got to ask yourself, how do I increase my productivity by just a few percentage points? And before you know it, you're like, why would I drive anyway? Who cares? I want to drive. I'll go to a racetrack and drive, right? I mean, I think, my sister got me a few years ago because I used to drive this old BMW truck. It was like, I don't know, 2002 with like 150,000 miles, but I didn't care. I liked it. You know what I mean? I can drive any car I want, but I literally would drive this thing as like my daily driver. And my sister's like, I need a car. You don't really drive that car. You should go get a new car. So like in 2016, that was 4 years ago, I'm sorry. And sure enough, she got me to sell her the car. And I got one payment from the car. I never paid me any more payments. But I looked at all these fancy like new trucks because I like SUVs. And I found this thing called a Volvo. A Volvo X. And I thought Volvo was like kind of like old school, but the new ones are pretty nice. So I bought this XC90 company 4 years ago, got me the truck. And sure enough, the truck has, I think, 4,000 miles total in 4 years. So, it's great. But once again, if you don't need these things, once again, and most times you don't need them, skip it. But the beauty of this is your productivity goes way up when you can lower the inefficiencies, right? See, the greatest golfer is no different than you. The difference is they hit less bad shots. Your greatest putt and their greatest putt is the same putt because you've watched them miss 5-foot putts on the green, right? But once again, they take less bad shots. So begin to look at your daily method of operation, what's called your DMO, and ask yourself, does your DMO align with where you're going? Write down your big goals, write down your daily habits, and ask yourself, do your habits move you closer or further away from your big goals? If it's moving you further away, get a coach. Get someone that's going to challenge you to design perfect days. How do you build those perfect days? And these are the things, some of that, what are some of your gold habits for success? My gold habits for success are, you've got to be, and just write this down, you've got to be persistently consistent. You don't answer phone calls once in a while. You text message, you follow up all the time. And this is important for your habits, everybody. You have to set parameters. You have to set guidelines for people. If you don't set guidelines, they're going to take your time all day long. So you really have to have parameters around your time, because time's the most precious commodity we all have, not money. You can always make more money. You can never buy back 1 minute. Steve Jobs had all the money in the world. He couldn't buy 1 day.
Hey, Bill, do you have a moment for a question from the audience?
That's what I'm reading. I'm reading some of the questions.
Yeah, he's answered the 3 gold habits for success.
I'm on Andres' question about 3 gold habits for success. And then, of course, this is really important, Andres, is that be very careful who you allow in your inner circle. Just remember, only quality time with only quality people. You have 0 time for negative people. You have zero time for naysayers. Oh, this doesn't work. This business doesn't work. Oh my God, then quit. Let me have you leave now. Quit now. You see, if entrepreneurs aren't going to sign a creed, right, to work half days, pick which 12 hours. If they're not going to sign a creed to call every person on their phone, you know, and ask for referrals. If they're not going to sign a creed to go out there and share their story, right? My friend sold his company for billions. He said two things: see the people and tell the story. See the people, tell the story. And it's incredible, right? If you'll just ask yourself and challenge yourself daily, but on those gold habits for success, Andres, your time is everything. Who you allow into your inner circle is everything, right? And every day, let's, you know, begin to schedule your success.
Beautiful. So good. So good.
Beautiful.
How long do we get to go today, guys?
We almost, I think our time is about, I know Bill have a very, very busy schedule.
I do. I have a 9 o'clock. So I have like, you know, so I've got exactly the time so that we can take a few more questions and I'll let you guys run.
Yep. And Bill, how would you define greatness?
Yeah, I just read that. So from Christianity so I'd like you to understand, everybody, that define greatness on your own terms. Please do not gauge yourself against anybody else, because what you see on the outside may be nothing near what's going on the inside. Listen, I've met plenty of billionaires from all over the world. Some are complete jerks. Some are the nicest people you ever met in your life. And I will tell you this, the longer they've had their wealth, many times the nicer person they are. If they've just come into wealth and for some reason, many times they have such a bad attitude. Define greatness on your terms, but I will tell you something that'll help you along the path. This is super, super important, everybody, is that number one, pick your niche, pick what you're great at, and get to the top 10. Pick your niche and get to the top 10. I promise you the air in the top 10 is different than the air for everybody else. In the top 10, normally the top 10 will outproduce the other 90% combined.
Beautiful.
So whoever's in the top 10, study them. Become great students of their success. Sometimes you got to go work for somebody for free to learn stuff. Do it. If you can pay to be a protege, I have a protege program. I charge 10 grand a month just to hang out with me. 8 to 10 days a month, come work with me, right? And just see what these days are like. Because not only will you get great referrals, you'll understand the process to win. And not just win once in a while. How do you win consistently?
All the time, yeah.
That's where the magic is at, right? Michael Jordan never took the court to lose. He never even thought about it, never entered his mind. Every game he was in, you know, and they asked some guys, they asked Vince Lombardi, they said, you know, coach, you lost the game last night. He said, we didn't lose. And the guy's like, coach, look at the scoreboard. You lost. He said, no, we didn't lose. The clock just ran out of time.
Yeah.
His posture never changed.
Yeah.
And it's so critical that you have to have that non-negotiable posture that says, get out of my way. Is it okay if I give away a book for everybody, Angela?
Yeah, we was about to ask you, Bill.
So, I have a gift for everybody if you'd like. You've all seen the movie The Secret. So I wrote a best-selling book called The Obvious.
The Obvious.
And, you don't have to buy it today. You get it for free. And all you have to do is just text the word obvious. Text the word obvious to 26786.
Yeah.
Text the word obvious to 26786. You get a copy of the book, and it's compliments of Rob and Angeline putting this together today.
Beautiful. And then we have a team here today, so the team maybe can refer that again on the chat, guys. So text the word obvious, and what was the number again, Bill?
Text the word obvious to 26786 right from your cell phone.
Okay, yeah. Go to the chat comments, guys. Take that and start texting.
Hey, Bill, if people want to know more about the program, the speaker program, Ringmaker program, how do they get those information?
Just text the word obvious to 26786. That's it. Okay. Text the word obvious, and we'll give you guys all kinds of free gifts and all kinds of great recordings, and we'll give you access to our Success Club all for free.
Wow.
So, you know, you get all this stuff and utilize all the content. You know, if you like this 40 minutes of content, you're going to love the other 100 hours. So,
yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Bill, for your time. And I really appreciate you. And thank you. You go rock and change the world, okay?
You guys, keep up the great work. I love what you're doing, and you're making such an impact for so many. And that's why these calls, you know, sometimes if you're listening today, everybody, sometimes you need the call. Sometimes the call needs you, you know, but don't be lazy with your dreams. You know, don't be lazy with your marketing. Give it 100% every day. And if it's not working today, don't worry, it'll get better tomorrow. If you're having a bad day, call a team member. Call someone that's part of your uplink, your or your management team, call them and say, listen, it's not perfect. Well, good. Let me give you some things to get you back on track. Because in life, you're on track or off track. There's no in between. But with this team here, you're going to stay on track. You're going to win big. Believe me, I know the heart of these individuals that you're working with, Angeline and Rob, they care. And when you get around people that care about your success, their journey is a whole lot more fun.
Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate you.
Talk to you guys later. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Oh, okay.
Wow, awesome. Bill Walsh.
There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this phenomenal interview with Bill Walsh, the rainmaker himself, right? The mind behind Power Team International. If you haven't caught that number yet, go to the chat right now and our team will post a number to text the word obvious to claim that free book. Also claim the free resources that will come with it. This is a phenomenal opportunity. And just want to say, Angeline, phenomenal questions today. Thank you so much. You were a beautiful co-host. Really appreciate. Great, phenomenal interview. What did you think? What was your big takeaway today?
First of all, I just want to say, Rob, you rock.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and having the opportunity being coached and mentored by Bill, it's really amazing. I start everything, all of his course, I believe was last year, right? From have a dream that want to speak on stage and happen in 2 months, right? I get his course, and then I graduate his course, and then I start speaking. Really, it's in 2 months. Yeah, and when I look back the past 1 year, I have grown so much. And because the person that you hang out with invest in quality relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is the classic that we hear all the time, right? Your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
And invest and build relational capital. And I think to me, that was the golden advice there. Like, and you just rephrased it, right? Bill said, invest in quality people, because that's most likely where your business and your life is going to skyrocket, because it upgrades your thinking, and soon enough who you associate with is who you become.
Yep. And the connection, right? The great people lead you to great connection. Like, if not because of Bill, I wouldn't speak at Small Business Expo. If I didn't speak there, I wouldn't know you and Maggie and all these beautiful teams and all these beautiful people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And guys, I wanna give a shout out to Angeline, because I acknowledge all the hard work and all the hours, the countless of hours. Bill talked about the iceberg, right? The 10% versus the 90% that is invisible, all the hard work that goes on in the background. And Angeline, to me, you're always such an inspiration, because I know how hard you work. And I know that this was not an overnight success, right? It only took you 11 years to become an overnight success. But there you have it, you know, phenomenal network, beautiful people all around you, great work ethic, and your results. I mean, it's just a reflection of all that hard work, your vision and dedication. So I just want to give a big shout out, because I do see how much work and effort you put into this journey, and this is only the beginning. I feel that this is only the beginning for you.
Yeah. And I really appreciate you, Rob, saying that, because the reason I'm willing to stretch out of my comfort zone, it's because I have a huge vision. I want to change people's life. I want to make a difference. I want to help people to become financially independent. So when Bill told me that, Angeline, if that's what you want, if that's what you want to do, then you got to stretch yourself. You're going to be speaking on the big stage so that you can reach millions of people. And I said, you know what? That's not my comfort zone, but I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, beautiful. So guys, if there's another takeaway from this interview today, from all the gold that Bill shared, just listen to that one thing, right? Stretch yourself, get out of your comfort zone, because if you want to have phenomenal change and transformation in your life, you have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and stretch yourself. So if there's one thing that you take away from as we come to a close here today on the interview, right? Go outside and get out of your comfort zone and surround yourself with quality people.
Absolutely. Quality time with quality people.
Yeah, absolutely. Angeline, thank you so much for taking over today on the Wednesday Live with Bill Walsh. It was phenomenal. I appreciate you. Guys, reach out to Angeline, connect with Angeline. Angeline will bring in a lot more inspiring speakers for us in the near future. So connect with Angeline and let us know on the comments. Text the word obvious to the number provided on the chat, and we will see you in the next episode.
And don't forget, we're going to see you again next Wednesday at 10:15 Central Time. We have amazing speaker lined up for each one of you.
Absolutely. So tune in with us every weekend, every Wednesday live.
Yeah.
But for now, have a fantastic Wednesday, guys. Thank you so much.